Hi everyone, Stacy Whiter here on behalf of Campus Mortgage with part 2 of a 3-part video series on analyzing borrower ratios for USDA loans. Now just a quick reminder before we get started, this video is for informational purposes only and should not be considered legal advice or used in place of USDA guidelines. Also, this video was issued on May 1st, 2018, and the information contained in this video is subject to change without notice. In part 1 of the video series, we talked about the ideal ratios for USDA loans, which is 29/41. We also talked about situations on purchase and refinances when they will go over those ratios. Now let's take a look as to what makes up those ratios, and we'll start with PITI. So what is considered in the PITI ratio? Well, first, it's principal, interest, payment on the mortgage. It's also any hazard insurance premiums, whether or not they're escrowed. It's also real estate taxes. Again, whether or not they're escrowed, they're still going to be counted. Same thing with monthly escrow required for any annual fees. Flood insurance premiums, whether or not they're escrowed. And then any homeowners association dues, regular or special assessments. Now let's take a look at what is included in the total debt ratio. Now again, we know the ideal number is 41%. So the total debt ratio includes the housing expense for the PITI plus any other monthly credit obligations incurred by the applicant. So let's take a look at each one of these. The first one we will talk about is, we already know, is PITI. Then long-term obligations must be included in the total debt ratios. So this would be any long-term debt that has 10 or more months of payments remaining. So you can omit long-term debt, so installment debt that has less than 10 months. Any installment debts, alimony, child support, separate maintenance, student loans, and any other continuing obligations. So these would need to be included in the total debt ratios. Also, revolving accounts, so include the minimum monthly payments from the credit report. If there is no minimum monthly payment generated on the credit report, then use 5% of the balance for zero payment accounts. Accounts paid in full prior to closing do not need to be closed. 30-day accounts. So 30-day accounts are accounts where the borrower was required to pay them off every 30 days to pay off the balance. So you would only need to include a 30-day account when the credit report shows a late payment in the last 12 months. So in that case, you would use 5% of the outstanding balance. Okay, so that concludes part 2 of this 3-part series. In part 3, we're going to continue on with the rest of the expenses that are included in the total debt ratios. Thank you so much for watching. For more tips and videos, please visit campusmortgage.org to look for their weekly mortgage video tips designed for all mortgage professionals, including underwriters, loan officers, processors, closers, and post-closers. We'll see you soon. Thanks.